Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to the March 12, 2015 meeting of the Oklahoma City Planning Commission. I'd like to call the meeting to order this time. Commissioners, our first order of business. Before we get started, I would commend you to, if you care to speak to us today, to read the instructions regarding how we handle our public meetings. If you'd like to speak to us, we'd ask that you fill out a speaker request form and bring it up to our attendants, lovely help up here at the front. Let them know what you want to, what item you're here to speak to us on. I'd ask that you direct your comments regarding an item to the commission. Keep your comments preferably brief, to the point. Try not to repeat anything that anybody else has said, and that will facilitate the discussion and moving forward in a timely fashion with our meeting. So that said, also please silence your cell phones and other electronic devices if you haven't done so already. Okay, Commissioners, approval of the minutes?
Mr. Chairman, there's an error on item number 14.
Right.
And what happens is it says Commissioner Gales moved to deny item 14 due to.
Right.
It doesn't go so.
Right. We noticed that. JJ?
We'll make that change and repost the minutes.
Okay. With that, I move approval of the minutes.
Okay. We have a motion to approve the minutes as to be amended, reflecting the change to item 14. Cast your votes. Those are approved. All right. Next continuance request.
2 uncontested continuances today. It's item 6, SP 477, defer to March 26th, and item 16, PUD 1577, defer to April 9th.
Is there anybody here to speak to us on either item number 6 or item number 16? Oh, ma'am, come forward, please.
My name is Christina Belkey, and I reside at 2040 Anthony Circle, Midwest City, Oklahoma. I'm here to represent the SP 477. There's 2 reasons that we requested the continuance. The first is that our representative is actually out of state.
You don't have to tell us. We're going to we'll continue it.
Okay.
Well, I think you're pretty safe on this. So,
okay,
yeah, thank you for
Mr. Chairman,
for coming.
since you were not here with us last time, you may not have heard that there was some discussion about people giving us reasons for their continuance requests.
Well, is there any need? I think we'll grant that.
It's item 17, not 16, that's on the continuance.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so that's item 6 and 17 on the uncontested requests. Okay, Commissioners, any action?
Move approval.
Okay. Motion, second?
Second.
Motion is second to approve the uncontested continuances. Cast your votes. Thank you. Ma'am, you're continued.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. We have several new requests for continuance. First is item 8, PUD 1576 to April 9th. Item 9, C6702 to April 9th. Item 10, C6694 to March 26th. Item 12, C6708 to April 9th. And we want to add item 16, the demolition ordinance for the design districts. We want to continue that introduction to April 9th.
Is there anybody here to speak to us on any of the new requests for continuances as read?
I'll move the new request.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the additional continuance requests. Commissioners, cast your votes. Those are approved. Now we'll move to the public hearing portion.
First item is a consent docket. There are 2 items. Item 1, C6707, final plat of Muirfield Commercial. And item 2, PUD-SP 1369N, specific plan at 9008 North Kelly Avenue.
Anybody here to speak to us on the 2 items read for the consent docket?
Move the continuance.
Second. Consent docket?
Second.
Okay, Commissioners, motion and a second to move the consent docket. Cast your votes. Those items are approved.
Okay, first item for public hearing is item 3, ABC 827, application for ABC 2 overlay located at 100912 North Rockwell Avenue.
Is the applicant present on this one? Yes, sir. Would you come forward and state your name and address, please?
My name is Rick Myers, and I live at 16999 North MacArthur Boulevard in Edmond, Oklahoma.
Tell us a little bit about your application.
It's basically a remodel. We bought that corner and decided to put a restaurant on that corner, and part of that was that we needed to have a ability to serve keg draft beer. And so I found out through channels that I had to go through this organization and then to the city council, so I would basically have made an application to get the overlay, the ABC overlay,
Okay.
to allow us to have draft beer.
Thank you. Commissioners, any question for Mr. Myers? Anybody here to protest this application?
Move approval of the application.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve item number 3. Cast your votes.
4.
You're approved, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Item 4 is ABC 828, application by Oklahoma 786 LLC for an ABC 2 overlay at 6200 North Robinson Avenue.
Is the applicant present? Would you come forward, please? Would you state your name and address, sir?
My name is Morgan Montgomery. I live at 1937 Rue Lane Drive in Midwest City, Oklahoma.
Tell us a little bit about your application.
We have a bar and restaurant we'd like to get zoned for our hotel that we just recently opened.
Okay? Commissioners, any questions? Approval.
This
protest?
location is all entirely enclosed within the hotel, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Second.
Okay, motion is second to approve item number 4. Cast your votes. That's approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 5, ABC 829, application by Western Avenue Development for an ABC 2 located at 1234 North Western Avenue.
Is the applicant present? State your name and your address, please, sir.
Keith Edwards, 2816 Northwest 21st, Oklahoma City, 73107.
Would you tell us a little bit about your application?
I have a tavern, existing tavern, that I'd like to have the opportunity to sell alcohol, draft beer, wine, and serve food as well.
You currently serve food?
No, it does not.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions for Mr. Edwards?
Well, I have an ABC2 requires half food.
At least.
50% of the
50%.
revenues are food, right?
Right.
So it's not a full-time,
No, it would not be a
100%
full-time
bar.
liquor. The concept is to have a patio area along with serving food all over and be able to have the opportunity for families, anybody to come in and eat. And the concept is I'm wanting to use molecular mixology along with high-end alcohol sales, along with selling high-end nice food as well. I do have some bar items, but a lot of it will be focused on lunch items, dinner items, things of that nature as well.
And what type of kitchen facility do you have?
Currently, we're hoping to remodel, to expand the kitchen so that I could use convection oven, panini presses, crock pots. I just came up with a recipe last night so that I can utilize crock pot to help expand a lot of the food that I would be able to do, because I do have a limited space. So a lot of it, I'm coming up with recipes daily so that I can utilize the space that I do have.
You're aware that under the ABC2 requirement, that 50% of your gross
Correct.
sales have to be food?
Correct.
Okay. And the other question I had is I'm a little confused. Our staff report indicates the size of the ABC area is 3,775 feet. The diagram that is attached appears to be 1,400 feet inside and like 2,300 feet outside. Is that
Correct.
how we get to 3,700 feet?
Yes.
So the patio, we're including the entire patio in the ABC overlay.
Correct.
And that is how we get to 37. Thank you.
Any additional questions?
I see also that you have in your diagram shown a stage, so are you planning on having outdoor entertainment?
Occasionally, not as a regular nightly thing, something where I would have to get a noise ordinance application to do that. But not, it would just be maybe like a Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon type of event, but not a regular, all the time live show venue.
How much parking do you have? at the
I have
Capitol?
15 spaces.
And JJ, how is that for the size of the area, the serving area that we're talking about here?
The parking he has is non-conforming. He's not changing the use that would increase the parking requirement. He's got about half what he'd normally be required.
It's not considered changing the use to upgrade the ABC?
It's an overlay.
No, it's, if you're changing the use to another use that would require more parking,
Oh, I
the
see.
tavern and the restaurant would require the same amount of parking.
I see, I see.
Is nobody signed up, Commissioners? Any additional questions or action on this?
It has been a bar, and it was a bad bar, or depending on your point of view, a real fun bar. Nevertheless, I think that this may be an improvement of the area, so I move approval.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the ABC overlay on that, item number 5. Cast your votes on that one. You're approved, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item 6 was deferred to March 26th. Item 7, PC 10413, application by Curtis Compton to rezone 2808 West Lindley Avenue from R1 to I2.
Mr. Chairman, Dennis Fox. I'm here on behalf of the applicant. This is an item in Ward 6. It's a transition area. You'll note there's a lot of industrial zoning. There's clubs, towing, auto storage, a number of uses. And my client would like to comply with the plan and put in I-2. We know of no protest, and we're here to answer any questions if you have any.
Commissioners, any question of Mr. Box?
I just have an observation about this area and the fact that you're going to use this for parking and outdoor storage of vehicles without anything else other than I'm going to put a bunch of cars and whatever I want to do on this. And it's unfortunate that we don't require SPUDs to come in to do landscaping, et cetera, but this is one of these areas that has long since deteriorated, and I just would hope that whatever you do, you'll make it nicer than it is right now. I don't have no control over it. So with that comment, I move approval.
Motion and a second to approve item number 7. Cast your votes. That item is approved.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Box?
Items 8, 9, and 10 were deferred. Item 11, C6706, final plat of Canyon Creek Estates, Phase 4, located west of Mustang Road and north of Southwest 29th Street.
Good afternoon. Kendall Dillon with Craft & Toll, representing the applicant. And this is the fourth final plat of the Canyon Creek Estates Edition. And if you'll notice in the map in your plan or your staff report, just a little bit about what our original plan was, and then I'll mention kind of what I think we'll propose today. But you'll notice that in the previous section that we did stub a street to the south, that is Sugar Pond Drive, and then we also have included a street to the south, a stub to the south in this section as well, shown as Crystal Pond Drive there. And we are proposing stopping Southwest 26th Street before it gets to the entrance on the Mustang Road. And our current plan was to connect up with an emergency access from the end of 26th Street over to Mustang Road. The reason that we're trying to avoid that entrance at this point is because our client is currently in negotiations with the people that own the 80 acres to the south, with the intent of purchasing it, and then what we would do is we would take those street stubs to the south, loop through, and provide further additional entrances off of 29th Street, and come back to you all with a revised preliminary plat to try to eliminate the one on Mustang Road due to the high volume of traffic that's on Mustang Road. So that was the reason for TE number 3, which was requesting the variance. However, working with staff and the fire marshal's office, I think what we would propose to do would be to delete TE number 3, and we would agree that we will connect Southwest 26th Street and Canyon Creek Drive with this plat. And in doing so, what we would do is we'd just agree to amend the final plat to dedicate the right-of-way sufficient for those two streets before it's recorded, and then we will also provide an emergency access from Canyon Creek Drive to Mustang Road. So I think if we did that, it would meet the code, and we would no longer need the variance. So what we'd ask is that we delete TE number 3, add a TE that we connect up Southwest 26th Street and Canyon Creek Drive with this plat, and add the emergency access to Mustang Road.
I'm lost.
TE, I think I got it. So TE4 remains, right, Kendall? Yes. 3, we're going to delete, adding another TE that basically says you agree to connect Southwest 26th Street to Canyon Creek Drive.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And that's it for the amendments. And by doing so, your point is, and I think JJ has agreed, that you will not need the variance to TE. We'll delete TE3. The variance is no longer required.
Correct.
Okay.
So you're going to connect Southwest 26 to Canyon Creek Road?
Yes.
Okay, so you won't have the access. You'll only have one access.
They'll have it
up at the top, off of 24th.
So by making that full loop and adding the emergency access, it will meet your access requirements as it is. The only difference would be is we're not putting in the entrance, which is part of that approved preliminary plat, with hopes that we can purchase the south property, come back to you all with a revised preliminary plat, well, not a revised, but of the south property, and eliminate that access off Mustang Road, because there's 20,000 vehicles a day go up and down Mustang Road. We just feel like it'd be a better plan. If in the event that it doesn't happen, then obviously we've got infrastructure on the ground. It makes no financial sense. They'll come back, put the entrance in, and complete the preliminary plat.
You mean the entrance where your emergency access is?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So Kendall, looking at this thing, the little red thing is what you're going to construct. What happens then to the semi-cul-de-sac stub just south of it?
If you'll notice, the plat has already been, the preliminary plat's already been deviated from, because if you kind of notice that cul-de-sac, it wouldn't line up with any street. It's because 26th Street's been moved further north.
Right.
So in this case, if it didn't happen, then Canyon Creek Drive would just be extended to the south, or we would bring the entrance in and just put a knuckle at the entrance and plat the lots off the end.
Okay. But you don't know which yet?
No, obviously the intent is to purchase the 80 acres to the south and do that.
And then you would leave the Crystal Pine Drive and the Sugar Pine Drive, and you might also have the Canyon Creek Drive.
Exactly. There would be 3 streets that would
connect.
Is fire good with this solution?
Yes.
All right. Nobody signed up, Commissioners. Any further questions for Mr. Dillon? Action on this?
Yeah, I'm going to move for approval with deleting TE3.
Right.
And adding another TE that will require connecting Southwest 26 to Canyon Creek Drive, as well as an emergency access at that same location to Mustang Road, right?
Right.
Second.
All right. Motion and a second to approve item number 11 is modified. Cast your votes. That item's approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kendall.
Item 12 has been deferred to April 9th. Item 13, C6709, final plat of Fieldstone, Section 3. located south of Southwest 44th Street and east of County Line Road.
Mr. Johnson?
Good afternoon, Tim Johnson on behalf of the applicant. This is an ongoing continuation of the Fieldstone addition. There has been some changes. We've adopted this project from a previous developer and designer. So there's been some changes we've had to make because of some things that were overlooked in the original plat from a Corps of Engineers perspective. And so briefly, the TEs, we agree with all of them except for TE number 3. It requests, pursuant to the preliminary plat, that we tie to 44th Street. But previously, we brought the Section 4 preliminary plat to you, and the TE on that was to make an additional connection to County Line, which we did agree to do, and that'll be shown on the final plat when we come in with these plans. This section is the section we're talking about today. There's a very large creek that comes up through here and goes up through this little piece of land here where that street would tie to 44th Street. It's a blue line. It's got a tremendous amount of drainage in it that was, I believe, overlooked in the original design of Section 2 because it does not have anywhere to receive that water. So when we got involved, we got to looking at that and realized that we need to get to this big channel that's been built in this addition to the east. So with this street, with this piece, we have a boulevard entry here. We have a second point of ingress and egress that will be connected to. This is already in place. So we're going to tie to this stub that's already there in this addition. So we'll have technically 3 points of ingress and egress for the, it's about 112 or 15 lots total. And then we're going to stub south and tie back to County Line when this plat comes in. But if Section 4 never happens, this is compliant without 44th Street being tied in. Mm-hmm. So we'd ask for that TE to be deleted.
So that's TE number 3, right, Tim?
Correct.
Okay. Commissioners, nobody signed up. Any further questions for Mr. Johnson?
I'll move for approval, deleting TE number 3.
All right. Motion and a second to approve item number 13, deleting TE number 3 and providing the access that Tim has mentioned. Cast your votes.
Thank you.
It's approved. Thanks.
Item 14, C6710, final plat of Castleberry Addition, Section 2, located east of May Avenue and north of Northwest 192nd Street.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Chris Anderson with SMC Consulting Engineers representing the developer. Reviewed the TEs, read the staff report, and just asked for your approval today.
Commissioners, any question for Mr. Anderson? Nobody signed up.
Well, the only question that I have is a comment in the staff report that there's no letter submitted with this final plat indicating that recreational amenities will be provided in the proposed common area A. Could you address that, please?
There has been a letter submitted as of yesterday, I believe. There are no amenities in this section. They've asked to push it off to the another future section, but they will be coming. They've committed to walkways, playgrounds, and some landscaping.
Okay. Move approval. Second.
Motion and second to approve item 14. Cast your votes. That item's approved.
Item 15, C6711, final plat of Skyline Trails Addition, Section 1, located east of Cemetery Road and north of Reno Avenue.
Again, Chris Anderson with SMC Consulting Engineers representing the developer. We've read the staff report, agree with the TEs, and ask for your approval.
Again, Commissioners, nobody signed up on this one. Any questions for Mr. Anderson? Action.
I'm going to move for approval.
Second the motion.
Motion and a second to approve item 15. Cast your votes. That item's approved.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris. that's all we have for public hearings. All right, move along. Item 17's been continued, so 16 has been continued, so. Planning Commission committees. Commission members. Planning Department. Development Services Department. Municipal Counselors Department. Citizens to be heard. Other business. Motion to adjourn?
So move. Second.
All right, we're adjourned.